Good evening. I officially call this meeting to order dated Thursday, April 18th, 2024. If we could, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You can be seated. If you would perform the roll call, please.
Grant Allen, Jason Gray.
Here.
Kevin Hall.
Here.
Garrett Hancock. Sally Knuckles.
Here.
Mayor Martin.
Present. Has the quorum been met?
Yes.
Let the record show it. Moving on to the consent agenda. I know that's a lot for us to swallow. When you're reading through the minutes and the board packet, did you see any expenditures or anything that need corrected in the minutes before it goes in the records?
We did have some extraordinary ones this go around, and I did add them in the consent agenda.
If you would
Bills.
explain that to them, on the ones that are out of the norm, please.
Okay, so behind the water enterprise on the check register, you'll find the SMA contract. So we had two bills, one for $83.97 and one for $47.98. They're both on raw water. The $83.97 is going towards the EID, which we got the $25,000 planning grant for. So I've submitted that to DOLA. They reimburse after we pay the bill. And then the other one is for Chris Wechter. You'll see that one after sanitation check register for $8,000, and that's for the DSV.
That's WEID.
No. So the DSV is for wastewater,
Oh,
for
okay,
nanobubbles,
that's right.
nanoparticles. The other one is for the reservoir number 2. So Enterprise is taking care of reservoir number 2. Sanitation is for the DSV for nanobubbles, the cover.
Any other ones there that's out of sync?
No. We did order some sand from T&M Dirt Works, and they
Yeah, I
have
saw
like
that.
secondary sand, or it's not perfect sand, but it's gonna work perfectly for us, and we got a good discount on it.
What's the Kilgore companies?
Kilgore is, I believe that was to service our air compressor. Wix Bank is fuel. Gold Star Products under sanitation, that is for that root killer. They're gonna be at your house, but Paul called them and he got an extraordinary discount on that. I want to say he got 75% off, something like that.
Wow.
So
Nice.
we got a bunch more of that chemical.
I wonder if you can give me a discount on replacing my sewer lines.
Yeah.
As long as it runs downhill and away from the house, you're fast.
Yeah. I make a motion to approve consent agenda as presented.
I second that.
Okay, I have a motion second. Is there any further discussion? If not, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. The DSV contract. that was spoken to us. We're looking at 3A. The presentation is in your booklets for Chris Weichter. After reviewing this information, and I would like to table that discussion until later time to get some more information to the board before the board makes any decisions.
If it matters, we're not ready to approve that contract because we don't have all the information. There's a lot of legalese needs. I hate to say it that way, but there's some things need added and subtracted and understood. So it's my recommendation that you table it as well. And Dave had some comments he felt you guys needed to hear as well.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion at this time on that topic? If not, I have a motion and a second to table the DSV contract. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, we'll move that to a later point. The next item is the Picanol update. I'm going to call her right quick and see if she forgot us, or if she wants to speak on the phone.
Or that's her walking in.
Or that could be her walking in.
No.
I'm not used to this casual behavior towards picking up. I mean, usually there's people here.
Hey Teresa, where are you? Okay, moving on, we're going to jump over to Dolores County Sheriff reimbursement request concerning, if you'll look at your 3C section.
Hi, Greg.
Hi. It's under new business, the third page.
New business, page 3. Okay, and I'm going to turn the floor over first to Trustee Knuckles, if she will express what she has learned about the request. You'll notice I'm requesting training funds in total of $920 for one individual to participate in certified VIN inspection class. Trustee Knuckles, would you give us your thoughts, please?
I kind of went through a rabbit hole and I looked up some registration fees, went to the state website to find out what fees actually would go to the city. And I found out that none of them do directly. I did find out that the highway user tax fund indirectly comes back to us in a small percentage. But everything for the VIN inspection benefits county. The county gets a clerk hire fee. They get county road and bridge retention of part of any registration fees. EMS, I think, does kind of come back to us a little bit indirectly also. There's a drive account. There's a peace officer standardized training fee that the county receives. So I don't see where this benefits the city in any kind of.
It's not a town function, it's a function for the clerk and recorder, because VIN inspections are how you transfer title and ownership. In my memory serves, a new vehicle you get a VIN inspection on, but you don't on used. So it doesn't serve a purpose for the town, like when we initiated that fee or the reimbursement for training. The training was, as I remember, supposed to benefit the town. So this doesn't indirectly or directly benefit the town.
Nope.
And if I'm making a misstatement, somebody's memory, that's, I can stand corrected, but we were looking to help him, train him in things like code enforcement, train him in things that affected the town that would do with speed control, traffic stops, whatever. This doesn't do anything for the town.
So I guess my long and short of it is, I don't feel that it benefits the town, and I do not feel that the town should pay it.
Kevin?
I feel the same way. That was the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, what does this have to do with us?
Yep, agreed.
I don't have an opinion, other than I don't know what kind of hotel they're staying in for $315 a night. Seems like a pretty nice hotel.
Yeah, at least 4-star.
That breakfast ought to be, the continental breakfast ought to be almost like served.
I stayed in a lot of nice hotels and that one for $350 a night.
And certified bins are when a title is lost and they have to be bonded for. It's not just your standard, I bought this in Arizona and you need a bin inspection. It's more than that.
But again, it's not a town function.
Yeah, and also if you, even on a used car, if you buy it and it's out of state and it comes in, they have to do a VIN inspection also. But still,
And
has
those,
nothing to do with us.
no, those are separate. The clerk's office does that, but these certified ones, I talked to the clerk and she said 95% of them are not in town. They're all out of town because they're weird things where the title is gone, something like that.
Okay, if need a motion to deny the request.
I
for
make a
those
motion, we deny the sheriff's request for VIN inspection.
I second it.
Have a motion second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, if you'll notify them, the motion carries. Look at another training request later on. But we don't feel that this is a benefit received to the town. Okay, moving on. The Fire District Water Use Agreement. Here, read through that, will you?
Basically,
Where's this from?
Dagan
Well,
contacted me after the fire.
what they're concerned about is that 500,000 gallon tank, 350,000 used to stop the fire. At what point are we endangering the rest of providing water to the rest of the homes? What do we need to get another tank? Do we need to get more storage? Which
Well,
I think supports the water emergency, but
this
at
is-
what point do you shut the valve off because you can't get your
And
quality
this is
water?
more friendly and user-friendly and whatever. What happened, Dagan explained to me that the fire happened and he did not receive a call about the fire and the need for water and whatever. He indicated that the tank between 300 and 350,000 gallons was down. That left about 150, and my math sucks, folks, left in the tank. The town uses approximately 70,000 gallons of water a day, according to Dagan. So you had a little, 2.5 days of water in there. And over 24 hours, you can recharge, if I remember the numbers in the document, about 250,000 gallons of that. But 70,000 of that would be going to current use. So it's a several day event, it looks like, to fully recharge the tank and continue to use it. What the agreement asks for is the fire district to simply call the town and let them know you have a fire either inside or outside of town so we can watch water production.
This shouldn't go to the fire protection district.
Pardon?
This shouldn't go to the fire protection district.
Or
This needs to go to the sheriff's office.
I think it goes to both. I think you guys back up to the.
We made the request
Pardon?
and it didn't get transferred. This needs to go to the sheriff's office.
You made the request.
Yes,
No, who made the request for what?
I did. I made the request for the town of Duck Creek to be contacted to let them know that we're using water.
Okay,
Didn't go.
but I think it needs to be legally signed by the district and the town and the sheriff if you want. But the things that I think are positive in there is this brings to the attention, we have a water emergency of sorts, so this helps with our funding and grants and things. But we also need to develop, and nobody has told me no on this, an alternative way for you to get water out of the reservoir, the fire district to get water out of the reservoir so they don't have to use treated water. And it's in there that that's what'll happen. the fire district may have access to other untreated water sources that the town doesn't. And so if the two entities can develop a plan where, hey, we don't need this hydrant, we can turn it off and do something else, that's gonna save the townspeople. Because if we start sucking air in that tank, we got a world of hurt with the Colorado Department of Health, just people. And so we need to get the sheriff involved then, but this is, we need to make sure we're notified. And
Yeah.
as far as looking
Send
at
it to dispatch, but don't give this to the fire district.
I think we have
Not at
to.
this
You're
time.
using the water.
I'm telling you not to. So I think the return you would get is a bunch of people to march in here and tell you guys what the fire district did.
Because they notified the fire marshal.
Well, not only that, but I don't know if you guys realize this. We almost lost that side of town.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
325,000 gallons is an unprecedented. I've never in my career done that. And there isn't other sources of water. That was, I mean, we were literally pulling every single thing that the town had to try to stop that fire. We almost lost the whole neighborhood. It was that close.
I'm amazed that you guys got that stopped with that one.
I thought we were gonna have the Marshall fire.
Do we,
So I don't know if a once off, that's never happened before. It likely will never align to ever happen again outside of, an elevator on fire, another wind-driven fire event like that. And honestly, so Dagan and I talked about this. So I had made the notification to dispatch, myself personally, to let Dagan know. And now I've got that 24-hour number, but that's not on the fire district. That's on the sheriff's office.
like I say,
And emergency management.
as a legal, if you went to court, I disagree that the fire protection district wouldn't have some exposure to liability. Okay, if we get into an argument about something happens to the water tank at a fire, the phone call would be part of it, and maybe that would just allocate things out. But you're the guys using it, and so there'd be the fact the sheriff didn't call. I'm also concerned that something happens and you suddenly lose that water in the tank. And so somehow we need to make sure Dagan gets, or the person on call needs notified. I've been over to the fire scene and looked at it. We got a world of things happening to Mr. Young to make things right over there we're working after. We need to start looking at getting you guys an alternate point of supply that you can pump into the trucks or do whatever you need, or if you have to do, don't you have those ponds that you set up, or is that just another district I'm thinking of?
There is a pond north of town, and
No,
we do
but
have access to that.
The ponds that you set up, the temporary ones, are they, I don't know what they call them.
Oh, the porta tanks?
Yeah,
Well, one holds 2,000 and the other holds 3,000.
okay. That's
It's
not enough.
5,000 gallons, so that would have been about a minute and a half of what I was flowing.
No, I'm not, and
So-
everything you've said is what Dagan was worried about is we got a water supply problem that we need to fix so you folks have water, and I don't know what it is, because if something happens and the tank shuts down and you can't get water out of that, so we need, like I say, this is the first steps.
There seems to be, from Grant's point of view, there seems to be a break in the communication between the fire marshal and the town of Delaware.
Correct, yeah, it's in our standard operating procedure that anytime we're tied into a hydrant and we use more than, if it goes beyond the initial offensive attack to just refill our tanks, then a notification is made.
And
So,
the other question, and I don't know the sheriff's fire marshal duties within the town limits of town of Delaware. That's another issue.
no, he's the fire marshal appointed by the Colorado Revised Statutes.
Not necessarily in the
No,
town.
that's true.
And so I don't know.
Everything within the county,
Yeah, he's,
Including the town.
including the town.
yes and no. Like I say,
No.
I think, have been down through this before, people arguing about their liability when it's a state office in a city or a town. I don't know. If
I
it's
do.
something that would be
And the fire,
litigated.
he is the fire marshal for everything within the county. He's the overarching. You have special taxing districts and the fire chief has the authority underneath the fire marshal.
I'm aware of the structure. I'm talking the liability that goes with, even with the structure. So I don't know. And all I'm trying to say is if you guys want to table this, my feelings aren't hurt, but it's something that we need to look at in a positive way. Discussions need to be had between the people that use the water and the people that supply the water so that you don't need to go through him. That you just know that there's a pump someplace that you can pump up from the reservoir and fill tanker trucks or whatever we got to do to make sure there's water. That was where this was headed.
So I can tell you this too. If you come at them with this, it's gonna be received poorly. First off, and second off, the demands back, we don't currently have the budget for it. Part of the reason I got on this board. So the demands back would be that the town does its part and actually maintains working fire hydrants. And we don't have it in the budget right now.
Well, you shouldn't be. The town should be maintaining the fire hydrants because it's part of their water system and giving you access to them.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah, and
And it's not in our budget.
right. So
So
that's
that's
another-
gonna be the comeback from them.
Yes.
Uh,
I would just leave it alone. I think it's already in SOP. There was a breakdown of communication with everything that was happening in dispatch, and I don't know why that happened. We were very aware about how much water we had used, but we were also curbing it. I mean, we had to use the great amount of water that we used on the front end in order to get that thing to stop before it ran the neighborhood. And also, you know, I fought a lot of fire in my career, and I've never, I think one time I've come close to this number, I've never ever used that much water on fire at one time.
The thing that I would suggest from a legal standpoint is that the town and the district need to work on getting you access to alternate water supplies that don't have to be treated water.
I think we could do that without presenting.
Yeah, and if you don't, you know, and then we can put that down so that everybody has some promises, but you need a driveway to get to the reservoir. You can't go up to the bank because Dagan's worried about it collapsing. There was issues. So there's some.
Where are you talking about?
The reservoir up at the town water.
Our
Oh.
town water, and
If
he,
we
because
can
I
fix
asked
the
him,
system,
can't
get
you
water
just
out
give a
there for
point, a
emergency.
place to go?
Fire
And both he and Paul said there's nothing right now that's safe. You would have to put the pump and then pump out to a truck somewhere else.
It's
So
not really feasible.
like I say, we need to start looking at stuff and making, if we can.
So also what was happening in the background is that Linda Reamer had mobilized the entire county fleet. All those water trucks were full and they were on their way to the scene. So we've already got that stuff in place. I just, you know, speaking from, you know, not in my position here, on behalf of them, I mean, I don't know. I think it's something just to leave alone. That's what I'm telling you.
But
So,
as far as future use, is that something we need to be putting into that second water system? Do we need them to be setting this up for major fires like this? They can pull water out of it safely and quickly. Do we need to have that set up into it?
well, really, that system is not made to handle the volume of water, or being pumped off like that. So, you know, during the months that the canal's full, we've got the canal and it's got a pump down there. And we've got the entire county fleet. Generally, all we have to do is say the word, and I mean, they're on their way
They're on the way.
with lots of water. This was, you know, this is a once-off, once in 50-year event.
I was really surprised that you blocked.
Oh man, I thought, I was pretty sick to my stomach. I thought we were gonna lose that whole side of town. That's why we pulled the trigger on him back, like, quick,
You guys
immediately.
did an outstanding job over there.
I can't believe we stopped it.
Well, what
To
was-
see where it ended and then see where there was like green and houses that didn't even have smoke damage was amazing when I was over there. You know, this is in no way any kind of a comment that the district isn't doing its job. It's just, Dagan was concerned, he asked me to do this, he's reviewed it. I think the most important part about it is we still need to sit down and figure out if the town can get you some more access if you think you need it. If you don't and you don't want it, then that's fine. Dagan and I can chat and we'll go from there. But one of the problems that we have to look at, when do we turn off the hydrants or risk sucking the tank dry? That's the problem he's concerned about, because there is damages potentially to the water lines. We could end up like Mancus, where you got a boil order for quite a long time.
And Dolores, I was part of that crew that did it to Dolores, so
Well, but
when the Hollywood burned down.
That didn't cause what happened in Mancus, because Mancus had to, they had contamination inside people's homes because the
We did it in
tank had a
Dolores
leak
too,
or
right?
something. I don't remember, I was the town attorney and I don't remember having that problem.
So we had boil laws and
I don't
we
think
caused
so.
some damage.
I don't think so. But there was in Mancus because they had raw untreated water got into the line and it polluted. So that's all Dagan was trying to avoid. But we can table it and figure something out. But there is this problem, when do we turn off the hydrant? Because it could damage the town's water tank and the
When Dagan
delivery
knows this
system.
too. I mean, that was why the call went out.
That's what he wants to know for sure, is that he can do that.
Yeah, and that's a standard SOP. It's just
Okay.
something that didn't get communicated.
Yeah, he
So-
didn't know that he could tell you to stop using water, was also what I got from him.
Yeah, no, that's that's in our standard operating procedures. It's just, we never thought we'd actually get there.
Well, and like I said, he didn't know that, because we chatted, well, what would happen if I went over and turned the hydrant off?
Also, we purchased that fire engine in 2014. So it took us 10 years to pay that engine off, but we paid it off. And we've never had the capability to do what we did. So, no,
That right there saved half the town, having that truck.
I don't think it would have stopped at the end of town. I think it would have just kept on going with those.
And you had supposedly one of the better hydrants in town
The best.
available to you.
That's why I wrapped where I did. We went the long way to the incident. The
That was
guys in
what-
the truck were like, what are we, we're on the wrong straight. And I said, nope, the one in front of Bruce's is the best hydrant in town. We're taking it. And so we took it and then we used it, all of it. So
Like I say, it was an amazing job what you guys did, because it's just
it was
like,
lucky.
it's
is what it was.
contained and it's black and then it's green.
Yeah.
And it's,
Okay, we're gonna, table that to a later time.
if we don't need to do anything, that's fine.
I don't think we do, and honestly, last night, because I was on shift last Wednesday, so this Wednesday, I did an after-action review for 2 hours with the guys. We talked about all that stuff. Everybody was shocked to learn how much water we actually used. And so it's very fresh on everybody's minds. And then the only thing that I haven't done is talk to Dawn about the fact that that never got communicated. Because, the request was made.
And that
I
was in the
understand.
daytime when his dispatch should have been working, right?
Yeah.
Instead of.
She was busy though. She had so much going on. Yeah. So I don't know why it didn't get communicated. The request was made and it just didn't get its way through, but
Would it be a problem for you guys to make the call as well? Besides dispatch?
yes. Don't put that on the firefighters here.
Pardon?
Don't put it on the firefighters here.
Okay.
So it's just not something for an incident commander to try to worry about. I mean, they got enough going on that's the point of having dispatches, that you can focus on your personal accountability of your people, your tactics, and you can send those requests to a dispatch center where they can make phone calls for you. It's just not something that, and then if an incident commander starts making calls, then what they're not paying attention to is their scene. And so, it kind of incident command 101 is limit your distractors. And so you make those requests out, and that's what dispatch does for us, is makes those calls, those notifications, and helps out with that. So, and what we can do is just make a more clearly defined emergency plan for a fire in town. That would be better than, this.
The reason we talked about just doing it in an emergency plan, and emergency plans are plans, they're not necessarily how things work out. And so it was thought that the agreement would be better, but if it's not, we won't. It's just as long as, there's something in the fire district's operating procedure that says the town will get notified and/or the town has the decision-making authority about when to shut the water off. That's all I really care about. And that's all Dagan really cared about. So if it would be a problem, maybe showing that to Dagan, where it says in your book that he can do that. So then he knows if somebody from the fire district, when he goes to do it, says, you can't do that, he goes, whoa, your operating procedure says. And maybe we need to talk about who he talks to, the incident commander and.
Incident command.
We need, that's what I mean, where we're trying to get to.
So,
Because I don't want him to get beat up by a bunch of firemen who are angry that he's
Yeah.
shutting the fire hydrant off.
so, yeah, I mean, and that would just, you need to go talk to incident command so that they
Okay.
know that you can't just shut off the hydrant. Yeah, if he would have shut off my hydrant without telling me,
Oh, yeah.
I would have gone and personally beat him up because I needed that water. So I need to at least have the notification, hey, on the front end, we need to start thinking about shutting this down, and then we can start to make plans, of how that works. So, yeah, we could talk that stuff through, but,
I think he'd appreciate that because he was very, very concerned on the Monday when he talked to me. That's why this got done so quick. He was having a lot of heartburn about what to do and what.
Or the pressure of when do I turn that off and where's my liability risk? But if your standard operating procedure is already in place and it was with Dawn and Dawn should have notified Dagan as a public works director, then as soon as we got to whatever.
and ideally in a
Right, go back.
situation, no town employee should be down there touching hydrants. Somebody should be up there monitoring the
Right.
tank and have a trigger point.
Right.
And then just call dispatch and say, hey, we've hit our trigger point. You need to tell them to start, to
Bring in.
limit their usage with the hydrants. And then they can switch over to a tanker shuttle operation or whatever it is. So I think that that's a plan instead of just an agreement, because the agreement doesn't really say anything about, honestly, if they get this, what does this actually say that anything's gonna do?
It's
Nothing.
more of a resolution to me, other than, to protect any kind of liability if you get a fire department trying to go beat up Dagan. You know,
The town's got more liability than anybody else in this because we're the supply of water. And then because of that, we have an obligation to do fire protection. We also have an obligation to make sure there's safe drinking water and that we don't damage the system beyond.
okay, what I like is the trigger point.
Yeah.
That he was talking
Yeah.
about. If you guys decide a trigger point, then that makes it good communication straight.
Right.
One of the trigger point's been hit, call the incident commander or whatever,
Yep.
find another source.
You hit the trigger point, by the way. He was getting close to,
So, and also too, you have to understand, that decision might come down to an actual conversation. So if I would have been losing that neighborhood, I might have asked Dagan, yeah, we're gonna run out of water,
Yeah, we're gonna use.
but I'm gonna use every drop of it. You got a problem with it? Because we're gonna lose this neighborhood if not. And if we lose this neighborhood, we're probably gonna lose this whole east side of town, and I don't know if I can hold it. I can probably hold it off of the new schools because they're non-combustible. But I don't think I can hold it back from that whole side of town. So it's a trigger point of a notification of, hey, so we've reached our initial trigger point, we need to start having conversations. Our second trigger point is, this is whenever we're gonna definitely shut it off. And then in the unlikely event that this happens again, with that kind of wind, and we're looking at a Marshall fire situation or, Paradise, California from the campfire, then we might just say, you know what, we'll just deal with the consequences. We're gonna do this to save the town.
Dump it all to save the
And
town.
we'll deal with water damage
As long as the public works director is in
in the loop.
communication and in the loop.
Yeah, I think that that's probably the best.
and
way
then
to go.
somewhere there should be a trigger point where you all start looking at this alternate water source.
Well, that would be like you did with the county, bring in the tankers.
Yeah, and we had done that. I mean, because, well,
You already had that triggered was what I guess I'm,
Mhm.
okay. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's another important point because us just saying, okay, it's all right to shut it off now or it's not. If we don't know you got more water coming, then that's sort of a problem for the town as well.
yeah, we actually were getting our first tankers arriving on scene as everything started to slow down.
Okay.
Stacy, Stacy and Amber, what's Amber's husband's name?
Hickman.
Hickman, yeah. What is it?
Hickman.
First name.
Fisher. Norman.
Norman Hickman. Norman Hickman had just pulled in with a tanker, like, where do you want us? So they were already getting them going, so, mostly because we didn't have any water left, so.
Well done to save the town,
Yep,
that's for sure.
this is good.
job.
Something to think about when you guys are looking at the plans for the new reservoir is an access to pump water out of. I mean,
That's what he was saying.
we just do it from the very.
Yeah, and I think that, well, we have that reservoir of the counties on the north side of town. I guess if there was a site over there, we could have a draft site over there, but
I mean, if we're building something, it wouldn't hurt to put it in.
Put it in.
yeah, no, that's true. I don't, if it was just a location too, that a truck could get to, but,
Do you know what a change order does?
yeah, no, that's what I was just thinking about, actually, is
It might not be that big a deal.
a location would be better than actually doing a change order at this point, because it would be,
I am not in favor of the change order.
we've got draft
Good
hoses
grief.
and floating strainers, and we can pump out of anything if we can get to it, so.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, it was more just access for the truck with David's concerns to the reservoir.
Tricia, Crick and Hoe update, go back to you.
Sorry, I'm late. Let's see. I don't know who needs or wants a schedule, tentative schedule.
Wow.
Okay, and I'll give you a copy. As soon as I get that.
Well, you did that so gracefully, you didn't burn the owl.
And I'm sorry, I
No, that's
made 5. I wasn't sure how many, and I knew I was already running late. So biggest thing is kind of just update on pick and hoe. And as of right now, this is a tentative schedule. We'll start on Thursday, end on Sunday. Would like to try to figure out how to do like a small dance, kind of starting at 6 on Wednesday night to kick it off. Looking at the event insurance and everything else for that, but that's not on here, but that is a possibility as well, just like a 6 o'clock, kind of get the older people out there hopefully and let them dance and, make it an early night if they wanted an early night, and then have, the dance that starts at 7 or 8 on Saturday. Was still hoping to do the pig chase where we did it last year. I guess Dagan and Christy are not here, but I was, we were able to do the pigs in the field last year, which I think it ended up very well. I think overall, hopefully Dagan was satisfied with the results of the aftermath, I guess I should say. So I guess what I'd like to do today is, because I don't know, by the time the next board meeting comes around, it's gonna be cutting everything kind of close. So I'd like to at least kind of go over a few things. Like I said, Thursday's your regular pick and hoe. Biggest thing on that is the pig chase, being in the baseball field as it was last year. Friday is gonna be our volleyball horseshoe washer tournament, with live music in the evening time, kind of over there by the washers. Saturday is gonna be the softball tournament. The 5K is right now questionable whether they're gonna have that or not. And then the dance at the tennis courts. And then Sundays, we're gonna try to bring back the 3-on-3 basketball tournament. hasn't been done in a long time, but see if that can accumulate anything. And then Sunday's kind of just the leftover day, the cleanup day, you know, kind of just, if there's something else somebody wants to do in there, we can throw it in on Sunday. But as far as the 4th of July goes, that's kind of the schedule right now.
Where are we at with the liquor license for that dance, if you're gonna have it on Wednesday night?
So the beer tent will not be open
Okay,
on
and
Wednesday.
then, just so that's something we need to make sure we
It will
understand.
be open on Wednesday night.
Okay,
That's our opening night.
that is your opening night? I
We
lied.
have 5 days, right?
Yeah, we have a,
Oh, you have a 5-day. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we started on Wednesday, so we're gonna
Cool.
open on Wednesday night, because that's generally the night we set up anyways. So we thought, well,
Cool.
as we're setting up,
Last
if
time I
somebody's
talked to
there
him, it was,
and they want a beer, why wouldn't we? So I think we,
cool.
is it in?
I sent it to the DOR last week, I can go pull it, but
We just need to make sure that if you're gonna have people.
Especially
dancing and
event
they want
permit
beer,
request for
they
July
have it.
3rd through 7th.
Yeah, 3rd through the 7th.
Yeah, so.
Okay, good.
Cool.
All right.
Last time I talked to you guys, it was set up Wednesday night and then start Thursday. So cool. I'm glad that got changed. So yeah, Wednesday night, like I said, 6 o'clock dance if I can make it happen and if everything goes well with events and insurance and all that fun stuff.
Help me out, what did we do the last time? We donated money for the fireworks last year. And then how did we do the porta
for waste
potties?
management.
And we paid
So-
for
I
porta
think there was
potties.
dumpsters and porta potties somehow all involved.
Correct. Porta potties, so from what happened last year, you guys, I gave you the invoice, you wrote me a check for the porta potties when it got, I don't know if we did it that night or if it was when it got closer. Cause we don't have to pay them until the day of or when it's done. So for that, you guys just wrote me a check. I put it in the account and paid them out of the pick and hoe account. This year, you're gonna notice, so $180 of that was reimbursed, and that's my mistake, but they went ahead and credited us for this year. They had sent a check, which the credit makes it, we don't have to deal with checks, and I give a check back to you guys, and so they ended up just crediting us 180, and that was for last year's Cajon Park was a part of Pick and Hoe last year in regards to, we had them all in one thing, and so Kendra had paid the 180 afterwards, and that's where the credit of the 180 came from. So the original quote is 49.20, and then with the 180 credit, it became the 47.40. The things that went up this year, the rentals were the same. The rate of service for both the waste and the restocking fee went up $5. And then on Saturday, because it's a Saturday, the waste went up $15 each. So that's where the extra money came in.
What did we pay last year?
What was it last year?
Yeah.
$46.80.
Oh, okay.
The original quote last year was $48.60, but again, that 180 is credited for this year, so.
And I think dumpsters were between 2,000 and 3,000 last year for waste management. It was 1 roll off, 6 4 yards and 4 4 yards, I think.
Yeah, one of those, yeah. See,
What are you,
for the dumpster, for the trash. And I believe from everything I saw, from everything that, and I did have people say they liked that the dumpsters were a little closer and more options to choose from, I think really helped people just go to the dumpster rather than throw it on the ground. The only day I was kind of upset with my trash guys was, of course, the day of the 4th, because, I want it done every hour, at least just go pick up the big stuff and take it off. There was a couple times I had to get on them because our trashes were overflowing. But hopefully I can get more on that this year. But as far as the dumpsters itself, I think I want to leave it alone at I think it was 120, it might have been, let me see, I know I just wrote it down. It was 124, 4 yards and 2 6 yards. Is that right?
Yep, that's right. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, yeah.
Okay, now, let's go backwards. It is my opinion, it's the biggest event the town puts on. So yes, I do believe we need to continue supporting the pick and hoe since it's our big event. How much did we fund to help with the fireworks last year?
2,000, I believe.
And I think you held it at 2,000 if I'm not. I think the board offered to give you more and you said, no, that was enough. But, what is your?
Additional donations come in, so
You got this budgeted anyway, right?
I think so.
So that it's,
In the years previous, we've actually absorbed the waste management into our utilities, but we do have 21,000 in legislative and we've used almost 7,000 of it so far.
so you have it budgeted to get at it, to spend it, it's not a problem, right?
And we did benefit from bakers, or not bakers,
Waste management.
thank
Waste
you,
management.
donating the dumpsters for the
Yep,
cleanup,
abatement.
so.
So we have that abatement line item, it's got, I think, $5,000 in it that we didn't use for town cleanup.
Looks like that covers that.
So question,
Okay, give me a
So
motion
waste
to approve
management-
expenditures. Then.
has been donating to the town to help with different things?
So I applied for waste management to give us in-kind dumpsters for the town cleanup days.
Okay,
So they did that this year, 6 dumpsters.
okay.
6?
Well, and the reason I'm asking is because I was gonna try to, I know Tyler and Vernon Knuckles, which I don't know because they are getting deployed, if they're still gonna continue that for the summer. I don't know when they get deployed, but,
They don't get deployed until October.
oh, okay. I needed to talk to them and I hadn't had a chance. So I was gonna see if they had the dumpsters available to do what we wanted to do for the pick and hoe, see if it was cheaper. But if waste management is kind of given to the town, then maybe that we may just continue. It's up to you guys on whether you want me to look for a cheaper source in regards to the trash, or we've done waste management, seems like for a long time for the 4th. So I talked to Lorraine about that today,
I'd
about
rather
finding
stay
a
with
cheaper,
Waste management if they're gonna give us in kind.
Right. right, and that's, and I didn't realize that when we were talking today, so I won't worry about going and finding a different source, then it sounds like waste management's good.
Do I have a motion to move forward with those
Yeah,
expenditures?
I'll make a motion that we cover the invoice for LaPoo, Porta Johns, and also for waste management for the pick and hoe.
Second. I have a motion second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Okay, motion carries.
I have a question for you for budget, because it's coming up. Would it be helpful if after pick and hoe comes to you during the budget process and you put money aside as a line item for the future? Because every year it seems like we scramble to make sure we have it. And as the mayor said, it's your biggest event of the year, and that deserves them then knowing you've got X number of dollars put aside, you knowing that you've got it, and I don't know whose budget comes out of Parks and Rec or just general town, but
If you have somebody as the chairperson to pick and hoe, fortunate enough, we got somebody over there willing to do that work.
Well,
But
you
she
guys-
may be done by this year, never can tell.
you guys could guesstimate based on what you spend
That's
on the
That's
year
correct.
and at least set it aside so it was there and you didn't have to look
Yes.
for it.
Can we have that?
Do you, can you amend the motion to approve what amount for the fireworks? Number 2,000,
Oh, yeah, you want that as a,
just to add it into it as one motion.
then I
You want to
Move
do
to-
2,500 or
Move to amend to add the fireworks.
no, I'll leave it at 2.
leave it at 2?
I've already ordered my fireworks, so.
Okay.
Well, actually, I haven't ordered them, but I'm getting ready to. So I got my order together.
You got, okay, leave it at 2. Amend it.
I would amend the motion to add $2,000 towards the fireworks to be paid to the.
Do I have a second on the amendment to the motion?
Seconded.
I have a second to the amendment to the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Now moving towards the motion on the expenditures. I have a second on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion carries on all 3 expenditures. Thank you for your time this evening. Thank you for your interest in trying to pull this off, and you don't get any money out of it, but it's a worthy cause.
You're welcome. Pig chase
Yes.
on the field, still good.
I move to keep the pig chase on the field.
I second it.
Okay, I just know that's
It's Christie that.
I just know
That's
that
her
that
pride
was
and joy, that turf over there.
That's
Now it's entertaining to
As soon as
watch.
I remember Dagan saying you did a really good job of putting things back.
Yeah.
The way they were.
That's what I heard too.
And I had to make the motion last year, blocking myself from Christie because I thought she was gonna burn holes in me.
She was rather
Um,
excited about that.
Is-
She was not impressed.
So this
That's
year
nice.
is a possibility we might have adult pigs. Is that gonna change anything? I wouldn't see why, but, that one pig last year, oh my gosh. Anyway,
The only
just
thing-
letting you know, there could very well be adult pigs this
The
year.
only thing I would ask.
He's still
is-
right in the question of it.
The only thing I would ask as the lawyer is you sort of check the level of intoxication of the participants in the adult.
Yeah,
I mean, if somebody's staggering,
You
falling
have
over.
to be intoxicated to a level to
Yeah.
chase it, or?
No.
'Cause,
No, so somebody's too drunk to play, we don't need them getting hurt, and, because I know the laundry list of everybody that's
Have you-
gonna.
been to
It's,
pick 'em up?
Yeah, and
Okay.
I,
I'm just
No,
kidding, I'm just kidding.
that's why I brought that up.
I'm just kidding, sorry.
Been there, done that,
Other question real quick was as far as pick and hoe. You, the county, I would like the fire department, which I'll come and talk to you guys, but if it would be possible, and I'm sure this is gonna be on you, Lorraine, to come up with kind of, it doesn't have to be very specific. I would just like to announce what the town does for pick and hoe. That includes like taking care of, how many hours do they spend up there the week before taking care of the park? You know, that includes the porta potties, that includes the trash. I would kind of just like an amount, rough estimate. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be anything major. I would like to put in there and announce that, hey, this is, you know, you guys wanna say stuff, but this is what the town does. This is what the county does, you know, those kind of things, because I think that's important for people to understand what the town actually does to put pick and hoe on.
That totally disrupts things like the irrigation schedule, it totally disrupts some things, you know.
Yeah,
Five
it
or
does.
six, 5 or 6 days of no water on the fields or minimal water, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so Dagan, everybody's got to adjust all those schedules and.
Right.
You know, access and things, there's a lot more into it than.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so just, you know, like I said, an amount, and then maybe like just a quick, hey, this is kind of what all this entails and what all they do. If it's possible,
You bet.
because I would like to just let people know what actually takes place. Other than that, did you guys have any questions for me? Like I said, the only thing on the schedule that's not on here that is the Wednesday night thing. But if I get an updated schedule, I'll let you guys know, or you'll probably see it around. So,
Thank you.
Good?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Every year moving on to the next item, every year it
Thanks,
is,
guys.
Thank you very much.
we need to,
For the pigs in the field.
for lack of
We did
better
not vote
words,
on the pigs on the field.
we have to
We
reappoint,
still need to vote.
vote for what?
The
The pigs on the field.
No, you guys all said yes, and I heard you.
Okay.
What's that?
Oh, there was a motion for the pigs on the field that you seconded. We didn't vote on it.
Oh, yes, I.
You guys are so confident she's not here, I love
Man, I was
And
scared
Grant
of
is
her
our
last year.
bodyguard.
it. You weren't sitting next to her, and I listened.
I was scared of her.
I think you should have been, sir, with all due respect.
I know.
You and Orange, stand over by the flag for me, please.
Yes, sir.
Every year, we have to reappoint these two until the point that we want to release them from their duties.
That's after every election, every 2 years, we get reappointed or re-sworn in because you have a new board. And that's what,
I'm going to do you both at the same time, so if you raise your right hand. I, Lorraine Hancock and Mike Green,
I'm
thank you, that'll work, do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
and affirm
and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the state of Colorado
and the state of Colorado
and the code of ordinances of the town of Dove Creek,
and the code of ordinances of the town of Dove
and
Creek.
will faithfully perform the duties of the office
I and will faithfully perform the duties of the office.
Town attorney, clerk,
Town attorney,
Clerk.
upon which I am about to enter to the best of my ability.
to which I am about to enter to the best of my ability.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, we have to sign anything?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, right here. The boys wanted to see one of these. That's the other reason this came up. That some defendants asked.
Okay, let's talk about the town cleanup day on May 18th. We are staffed, gonna be going till 4 o'clock on the limb pile for those that ask, until the 3 dumpsters are full, which is usually 10:30. We usually have them at the gate at 7 o'clock. Those members who want to participate in that, please feel free, I encourage it. Yes, I usually buy pizza to feed them so I can keep them there over lunch. So I usually buy pizza from somewhere in town and keep them going. They'll have 2 backhoes going there. We'll have the metal on the other side, the limbs. I've had a request from, and I haven't talked to Dagan or any of the staff. You may know, is it Roberta Lowry, am I saying?
Yeah.
She's asking for help to go get some of her garbage off of her property and bring it down here. She said she'll have it piled up, but she doesn't have any way to get it to the dumpsters. Back when we started this 4 or 5 years ago, Melissa and Dagan took the green truck over there. They went around town and picked stuff up. Some of the towns that I look at on their town cleanup, they offer that as a normal service. They just go around and help some of the elderly pick up their stuff and take it to the dumpsters. Is that a road that this board wants to go down as far as enlisting staff to go help them remove some of their stuff when they cannot?
I think so.
We're gonna have Lyman, Chris, and Dylan on staff on Saturday.
I think that's appropriate use of our people and equipment. I mean, we're asking for the town to clean itself up. We're trying to support, these codes that we're trying to enforce. And if there's somebody that's done the work on the front end and all they need is a haul, I think that's a great thing for us to reach out and do personally.
I'm in agreement with that.
We've done it for probably less deserving people that
Yeah.
didn't take advantage of it, so.
Yeah, and and I've talked about it before, in Durango, rather than having a single collection point, people bring it out to their curb, and they have neighborhoods, they have a schedule of events where this neighborhood is this week for limbs and leaves and stuff. And then, a month later, this neighborhood is now for trash. And so they take out, their trash and they put it on the curb and the town comes by. And it's easier because they have their own trash cars. But, I think if somebody reaches out and asks for it, I think that's great. My personal feelings on it.
I think it would go a long way as far as cooperation.
Yeah.
Well, is this person economically deserving?
I don't know her economic situation, but she's not somebody who probably has the means via vehicle, and
Yeah.
I don't know how old
I bet she's in her
Roberta
70s.
is.
I bet
Yeah,
she's in her 70s.
Do you know Roberta?
I do.
Us people in our
I think it's
seventies don't
appropriate.
have as much money as you young folks.
Well, I don't know that it's a money as much as I don't know that she physically probably could do it or has probably the vehicle to transport it, so.
What are you guys' thoughts, Jason?
Yeah, I think we should.
Yep, I'm good with it.
Okay. I'll talk to the staff about it, or you can, as far as if we've had a request from her. Anyway, and I'll get with you later to discuss that some more.
Do we know of kids that need community service hours?
Well, that's what I was gonna, something for community service, if they could put that out and put some
Yeah.
hours on it.
Yeah, if a couple kids want to come over and help throw some trash in the back of the dump truck, that'd be great.
We want to check into that.
Okay.
Well, that's all? No, that's this
It's
Saturday. You don't
Saturday.
have time, you're not even
No.
employed tomorrow.
Is that sad?
That's this Saturday.
But most of it in July, we'll check into this public service hours.
I don't know if we can move fast enough on that, but anyway, we'll look into it.
We used to have Phyllis who knew all the people who needed those
If
hours.
not, we can set it up for the July 18th if we
Yeah.
can't get it put together here. Okay.
Yeah, because we're starting to work on code enforcement cleaning up, so this would be good to help people out.
Okay, sheriff's report, I found it in, she brought an interesting point to me. 46 traffic tickets, and it's been that way 3 times in a row. Didn't know if that was to have the exact number of traffic stops for 3 months in a row, that's pretty,
Most likely they're just not updating news, my guess.
yeah, like he's not updating that.
Could very well be.
Well,
Yes,
and
and it's probably well south of 46.
And we're seeing 15 in court, which is for people who aren't, what do you call it, who aren't appearing in court. I don't know how many are paying on top of that. But I think there was like 3 or 4 cages, maybe there was 20 people, last time we came to court.
I have it down here.
I like it in the clerk's report, she's filled that out pretty good about the money that is coming from that. I like having that report, it's nice.
And then Mike worked on a letter to bite a little bit more for defaults, and we're getting a lot more people calling in and making payments.
We've been focusing on cash flow, making things work.
I just want to get the message out to slow their.
It's gonna
down
take,
when they hit
it's gonna take a while to do that for the truckers and their employers and the insurance carriers, but I think that's working. I don't have the attorneys calling up anymore wanting deals, so the word is out, because those folks talk. So, could there be more tickets written? I think 2 a day is
ridiculous.
kind of light. Okay, yeah, Jerry Sam up here one day wrote 14 or 15 in one day. So I know, I disagree with what the state patrolman says. You stand there and watch, there's more people going 10 over.
Well, I don't have a radar, but every time I pull out from my house and drive the 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks to Superette, somebody's running me down.
If you want, come over,
So-
we have a radar gun if you want to sit up front in your lawn chair and clock people.
Click,
Yes,
click.
got it from the police department. And, because we were talking about just taking it out there and parking it and putting it in a vehicle and turning it on, and that might slow people down. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, it's bad. I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's getting any better, so, and it's cars as much as it's trucks.
It's
And I am
trucks pulling
working-
trailers.
Right.
Like right now, there's so many Jeeps and trucks pulling Jeeps.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And the campers coming through town.
And I have been working on the sheriff's contract. There was a couple things in there needed to get changed because of it. I can explain it next meeting at the executive session, but generally it's still the same, just cleaning up and then getting the code enforcement part in. We think we've got a really neat way to do it where he's just serving tickets. We can do our own reports and do our own complaints and make it happen. And staff was actually fairly excited about it. I wasn't thinking they were gonna be.
Okay, you guys got the notice of resignation from Adam Moran, did you see that in your packet?
Yes.
No.
He is going to move on from that post.
You guys have a choice. If I could throw something in here as legal advice, you can either leave it totally to the sheriff as the sheriff to enforce just state law in town, which is what we're doing for the dangerous animals anyway. We're not, because we don't have a place to keep them. We don't have the ability to kennel them like you're supposed to for the periods of time. So I don't know what else is out there that you need, but this is sort of kind of a town employee. Lorraine could just put a ad in the paper and hold interviews, her and Dagan, and hire somebody and then introduce them to you. This is not that, it's not like a clerk or an attorney that is directly working for you or the marshals. If that's what you want to do, we can, I don't even know what he's been doing. I mean, Hempfield used to get sprayed by skunks regularly, and I haven't heard anything neat like that from this guy.
Well, I can tell you that when you call the sheriff's office about dogs attacking your dog or being running loose and chasing kids, I've been told, and I heard them tell them that they can't do anything about it. So
What kind of a dog?
it was just a dog that was running loose. So people
Okay.
didn't have it on a leash and went to a fence where there was little kids and tried to snap inside, and they said they couldn't do anything because I
If
guess.
it's a vicious dog, and the sheriff agreed that he would be the enforcement of those kind of animals. Dog at large, all we've been able to do is take the dog back home or get the people, because we're not allowed by the state to kennel dogs. It came up with dogs and cats, and we got told, no, we can't do it. And I think he was doing it anyway to some degree. Say like you were gone for the day and your dog got loose, he'd hold it until you got home and give it to you. But we don't have the ability to impound animals because we don't have the approved facility.
Right,
And it's too far to drive them to Cortez.
but if you pick up a dog at large, how do you know where it goes if it's not licensed? And I have a question about the licensing too.
I don't know. That's what he seemed to know where all the dogs in town belong, because I think he explained that to the board one night.
I pulled in a bunch of dogs and he always knows which house that, I don't know how he does it.
Well, he has, I've seen him put it out on Facebook. Does anybody know who his dog is?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, he went above and beyond to solve the problem, because
Is there a need for an animal control officer, yes or no?
I believe so.
I think there is.
You know, when we didn't have an active one, remember how bad the skunks got in the neighborhood up there by you and my parents' house?
Yep, whole family of them.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Okay, if the
And
board is in
cats
agreement, we need that animal control
I
officer.
think it's
You need to- You need to put out an application and see who wants to respond to that. That's not an easy position to hold.
you guys had a skunk army, but I think you got rid of it. That was always
You
fine.
you guys agree with that? Just put out
And
some
there's still-
feelers and see if we can.
Still the fox problem. He took care of two of them last month, so
Does Kevin want that job?
no.
I don't think, I don't want that job. Okay, if you would do that, then we'll see who responds.
Do you want staff to hire, or do you want to hire? I don't think,
I'd like to know who it is.
Okay.
I would like to be a part of that. There's a personality involved, it's a personality when they approach the people. I'd like to be a part of that.
animal control and code enforcement, two of the most beloved people in a city.
Are you guys okay with that?
Yes.
I want to know who that is before we hire whoever. Okay, report with Christy Chad, they're coming back from state. Dagan's in that same category. She left her report in here. She gave us an update of what she's doing and where it's going. We'll get back to Public Works later. Lorraine, you had quite a report filled out, and there's any highlights that you want to present to the board at this time? Besides kudos for passing your.
Thank you. We've collected $520 in April in late fees, $5 a pop. That's a lot of late fees.
Were the late fees due to just laziness paying
Or not being able to pay until the end of the month, I'm not sure.
If you mailed it, it goes to Albuquerque and then comes all the way back.
So-
No, we're not really having that problem
Okay,
anymore.
good.
A lot of them are just coming in late.
So in my case, when we get paid 2 times a month, my water bill always gets paid after the 15th, even with the $5 late fee, because the other bills are more important. So my water bill always gets paid on the 2nd. So I'm sure a lot of them is happening to
I'm
be
sure
that
it
way.
is too.
The second paycheck after the 15th.
How's the ACH stuff going?
Fantastic. We've got 29 accounts right now. Going through.
No complaints or issues?
No complaints or issues. It's been fantastic.
And hopefully.
How many total water taps do we have?
498.
498.
Sorry.
So I have a question in the water and sanitation sales. You have it broke out?
Add this
The
and
tool-
this.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask is 23s altogether, and those two are broken out.
33s altogether, these are.
We found out how to use RVS to break it out, how it's supposed to be broken out, and so that's how I'm doing it, so we can get an accurate view on enterprise and
Did you
sanitation.
guys understand that, Sally? Kevin?
So we're up on water sales pretty
We are.
much
So
every month, huh?
And we're up on collections like you wouldn't believe. Lorraine, she and Elizabeth make phone calls, they do things. So there's been a much more positive payment response from the using public. So that's a really good thing.
We've come a long way from just accepting checks.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I don't know whether you want to hear about it now if we are in water bills, but we're starting the collection process of getting people ready to certify them for taxes. We sent out about 13 or 14 letters that, hey, you've got $1,000 balance, you need to get in here and get it paid, or these are the things we're gonna do. And so those letters will get sent out Monday. And then we'll record liens. You guys have apparently real estate moving in town, so if somebody owes money to the town and there's a lien, we'll get paid at the closing. And then we'll be ready to submit names to the treasurer, and we're gonna be ahead this year, I think, on it. Every other year, it's been like, oh my gosh, we forgot to do this. But we'll have a list of accounts to get paid by or collected as property taxes by the treasurer. Now, that's a freebie to the town. We're not really paying for it. There's a 10% fee that's added to the amount that's owed that the treasurer gets. So we're trying to get them past due accounts whittled down.
A lot of the accounts that we sent in December, if you have a mortgage on your house, they will take care of your tax bill and then attach it to your escrow account, so it gets paid that way. I think we collected 5,000 or 6,000 so far with that method.
And I can't tell you how many attorneys don't even know that exists in their government. And it's like a freebie.
And escrow management is a nightmare anyway, so you want it kept up to date.
But we've got, if you look 250 ballpark or more, we're sending notices, we're gonna lean, we're gonna do this. Because Lorraine's pleasant attitude didn't get it collected, so. Talk to Mike. Anything else you want to point out?
Turn on, turn off fees collected in April, $402.50.
What is that about?
So that is when we get called out on the weekends.
No, yeah, I knew that.
Okay.
Why so many? I mean, that's, when I saw that number, I thought, man, that's quite a few requests.
Well, I think Liz went ahead and resent out some invoices, so it's on people's minds.
So it's $50 a pop, right? So
And, well, sometimes it's more, because if we have to turn it off and then turn it on and then turn it off and turn it on, which we've done that, and we notify them. There's a fee for that, that's why you need to get a shut off put on right after the meter, so you can do it yourself and not call us out if you have a water emergency.
Every house should have that, shouldn't it?
Most of them, I think, are inside though, because the plumbers do it.
Most of the houses here don't have one. You have to do it-
Period.
Yeah,
I mean, I've got one on the inside of my house, but
Yeah, I've got one on the inside, I don't have one on the outside.
The plumbers usually put a master valve in and then take off of that. And that's what surprised me, that these people aren't using those.
If I blew up between the house and the meter, I would need it.
it's pretty handy. Garrett has it where we have one right after the meter, we have one right inside the house, we have one right before the water, so we can isolate and see where the leak is coming
Oh, I'm
from.
not that good. I get it.
Well, it's kind of like the cleanouts for the sewer lines, somewhere after the tap, but before the house is helpful to everybody.
I didn't ask, when is Adam stepping down? Is this effective immediately?
Yeah, it didn't
June
say.
1st.
June 1st, so immediately?
He said he just is too busy with sports.
Okay, anything else you want to point out?
We've changed municipal court to the second Thursday of the month. Our judge took the Dolores County.
Ian is now the Lord High County Court Judge for Dolores County. And I don't know whether Clue and he changed court dates with court, I think they moved it to Wednesday.
It's on Wednesday, so it's conflicting with ours, so we
Yeah.
changed it to the second Thursday of the month.
Will there be any conflicts with him doing both?
No, it's all we used to do it in the past, and it worked really great, because the same person was handing out justice to the same defendants in multiple courts and knew their histories. It sort of worked. So I'm kind of excited about it, because if he's seeing somebody someplace else, it
And the
helps.
reason we went away from that, Sal, is we weren't getting the results from the county judge that we wanted. So we terminated that relationship and went with another one.
It was, Ian is like a vast improvement over the county judge that we had, who wasn't allowing any tickets to be processed, but was dismissing them all.
Are there any tickets that are affected by the change in court dates?
We fixed them.
Second out.
Lorraine and Elizabeth got on it, and everybody knows they have a new court date. It's amazing. It's done already, so.
Cool.
I will say that, man, as we were wrapping things up, Matt Perkett and Eric Stiasny and me were all standing down there at that fire. And Matt goes, wouldn't it be fun just to take a few pictures and go up to our old judge and just slam him down in front of him and say, this is why we were asking this. So, how many tickets?
It was also something that allegedly there were tickets not getting, in other words, when the sheriff writes a ticket, it's as good as the DA filing it. And somehow those weren't getting entered into the court system. And then our tickets weren't getting prosecuted because he didn't want to. And nobody knew about this really, other than maybe the clerk, and I don't know what she knew, because I wasn't coming up to community court because we didn't think we needed to. And now, I'm kicking myself because maybe I could have fixed the problem. But he had some beliefs that said, you can't do this. And okay, but now Judge McLaren is just like, it's working. He has his foibles like every judge, and there's a few tickets that are gonna go, and they're fine, they're the wrong court date, or there's something wrong with them, and okay, cool.
Is that why the amount of dismissals from?
It is.
Yeah, they got writing a bunch of tickets one time. When they wrote paper tickets, when Jerry Sam wrote all those tickets, he wrote them, some of them on paper tickets, and there was a misstatement of the law that was violated that was in the pre-printed ticket. And so Judge McLaren did not feel that that was an adequate description. And so we ended up dismissing for that. We ended up dismissing for inappropriate court dates, or incorrect court dates, I guess is the better way. And there was
Careless driving that wasn't documented on what.
Yeah,
the was.
there was, we're working through it and it's getting better, but used to be, there was the back of the ticket, the officer wrote some notes so the judge knew what happened. But if I have careless driving and there's no description of the careless driving, I don't know how to advise the guy. And so he was dismissing those.
I noticed 6 had been dismissed off there.
Okay, any furthering on municipal court on the agenda?
It's going great. If we just get, I'm disappointed in the number of tickets because I think we could do better, but I don't know that we're going to. Let's just go there.
I don't think under the current administration we are.
Hopefully we have more ordinance violations with the plan that
Yeah, and we'll start working those. And then there's a comment that I need to make for you after the meeting. Something.
Okay.
Okay, moving on then, nothing else from the town attorney then, which is item 9 on the agenda.
The town attorney part is we've started collecting on the water bills. I talked about that. We're going to work on, there's gonna be some huge cleanup with the buddy. I'm just gonna say it out loud. Town, there's gonna be a huge cleanup situation with the Buddy Young property, both the property that was destroyed and the property that he's moving to. We're creating some situations. We've started to look at, this is another problem that came up at the fire. The above ground tanks that were down there in the neighbor's yard, one of them that had fluid in it was expanding. So Dagan is getting concerned, and so, we're having some issues about above ground tanks as a fire hazard. We're having some issues about above ground tanks that don't have I call them the kiddie pools around them to collect in case there's a leak. Especially when they're so close to over there, which is a waterway, Dove Creek. So, Dagan and I are trying to figure out how to address that situation. I don't think you have that many above ground tanks, but, you may hear something from the school district, because I think they do, and we do. So we're trying to figure out how to be diplomatic about it, but there's some issues need addressed about that. There was
Imagine if that would have blew.
We have some other cleanup issues we're working through, but we're getting a plan, and I think the big thing you're gonna see is the new implementation of the code enforcement using that job, or what do you call it, work order system. We think we can actually get things moving along quicker. And so we're gonna try that.
Well, I'll tell you, these plastic coats down here of drip gas, they wouldn't have withstood that heat, and we would have had.
They're on our list of trying to address, and we're working on, I've got the survey finally, we're gonna get the ordinance correcting the old street vacation, which was Mas o Menos. And you're gonna see, maybe not, those tankers are about half to 2/3 on town property. And so they should all move towards the drainage, hopefully. We'll have about 15 or 30 feet of street coming back, a full 60-foot wide, to save that access for both. And then we were looking at what to do about the other accesses out there. Do you need them all? Should we get them curbed? Should we not? Should we do something? Because that's part of your parking problem out front. It's too easy to pull in front down there, but that may involve some other planning. We were looking at how to sign that. We also, Dagan was trying to figure out how to do signage over at the old shop, because we got trucks parking in the street over there that are an impediment to traffic. So there's a lot of little stuff going on. Trying to get the post office fixed so there's only one way in and out instead of 6 ways across the. So Dagan's got me busy.
I don't know how to put this politically correct, I guess. We talked about certain jobs that have been put off here in town for a long time, such as tying in water lines. I'll tell you, my water is starting to suck. I turn it on, and if it's in the bathroom where I have my white sinks or tub, it comes out gray or black for just a few seconds, then it dissipates. I have a filter on my kitchen sink and a stainless steel sink there, so I don't see it, but it smells. Gary and I have complained about our water every year for years since we bought that property. We've always been told we're on a dead-end line. They're always talking about tying in the dead-end lines. You brought it up couple months ago at a workshop here. These things have been they seem to always be put off. Why are they not trying to do some of this? Because you even stated that to meet a certain test standard for water, we have to flush 50,000 gallons of water to get that within needs. Why are we not, I know there's other things that take priority at times, but can we get a project list from Dagan on things that have been put off for years and years? Because we can't keep doing this. We've got capital project issues, sewer totally needs redone, right? I don't know if water lines need redone. But I mean, we need to start looking at taking sections and starting to move forward. It just seems like we're worried about a new sign at the Public Works office. We're worried about,
Well, we can't really put any of that stuff on Dagan. That's not Dagan's.
well, no, I'm not
It's-
putting it on anyone. I'm
it's-
just wondering if there's a list of things like that that we
There is, but
can.
we don't have the money for it. That's what it boils down to. I mean, we've been trying to tie in some of these lines. How long have we been on the board?
6 years.
So how many dead-end lines are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.
So we can't budget to do one a year? Or, take, I know like ours, I think it dead ends maybe at our property line, and then maybe 200 feet from it, there's a main line that goes down the west side to First Street. I mean, it's not easy to schedule, turn
think-
off water, get everybody.
I think to answer your question, we put off some of this stuff because we've been trying to get the reservoir and the pipeline done. But I mean, and the dead end lines, so in the discussion that we had, it was like this line right here that goes between Gyrene and Pine. It's this one right here, right?
Yeah.
This has like patches on patches on patches, and it's one of the mains that feeds everything. And so we have all these projects, and it's really boiled down to money more than anything, if I remember right.
Yeah, and then one of the, it seems to be the focus, and yes, we need to go beyond that direction. The one we paid money on as a board is trying to figure out how to tie this water line up here in, because this is one of their test points up here, but it's, and we've got it figured out, we've had it engineered, we know how to do it now, there's some more work to do, but that's to tie in that property on this side. Am I pointing in the right direction?
Yeah.
Up here by the Johnson property.
Yeah, it goes from, we ran that line out in front of the social services and stubbed it.
And
So it's sitting there waiting for us to go in, and that would tie in and loop in Bob Street.
So
And
we went through the right of ways, and we've got all that planned out to go up there and come down and tie that corner of town in
tie into our future Dawn Street, right?
to our future Dawn Street,
And then it would also tie in,
including our sewer, getting that tied and tie into Sixth Street.
Yep.
But we haven't done much research on your part of town, and we probably ought to start doing that.
When you asked us to do homework, one of my suggestions was a project board. And you kind of alluded that seemed like a good idea, but then nothing has ever been talked about. And I'm not saying, anyone's at fault or not, any job isn't important. But tying in the lines makes sense not to waste water. And I mean, we should be able to budget something towards doing one of the projects, even if it's something small. But it just seems like we're stagnant. We're not moving forward
And I'm
to,
gonna tell you where some of that's coming from, Sally. That not getting the numbers from the state as far as what the demands are gonna place on us and mandates. One of them is the water treatment plant. The Dove project was a potential $500 to $1 million project. That's gonna take priority over connecting lines because of the money demand that they're gonna make us do up here. A couple months ago, last month, they have not pushed us any forward. They kind of gave us a green light that they're gonna overlook us. So now the board can reallocate some of those monies to doing some of those projects. I've been holding things up, having a $500,000 to $1 million project up here. We're down here with a $500 to $1 million project on the lagoon system. And when they mandate, we don't care if you can't figure it out. It's gonna happen, and we'll start charging you $10,000 a day because you're out of compliance. It's hard to plan any kind of in town until I get the state off our back.
And your mandate, if I recognize I'm a supreme optimist. Your engineer told you it could be as much as 5 million if they make you do everything for that lagoon system down there. You've got 2 water projects. You've got, between the pipeline and the reservoir, you've got 3 to 5 million in there, depending on what the final costs are gonna be, because it's taken so long for us to get it going that I doubt the original estimates are even close anymore. So we talked at one board meeting because Grant and I are familiar with him in Durango, me and Cortez, where they take a piece of street and they pretty much rototill it down to the center of the earth, and everything in that piece of street, every utility gets replaced. And you move through town doing things like that. Well, that's gonna take you forever, because a block at a time is gonna take you forever. But you put everything in at a 50-year expectation. And like the mayor says, every time we turn around, somebody from the Department of Health or somebody else has just come in and.
Prioritizing projects is always difficult for a board, but we also have a public safety issue as far as delivering quality water to our recipients. Have you mentioned to Dagan that you're having quality water issues down there?
I've been trying to run our second tap to help with the house, because I do know they're busy. But I still really feel that it would be it's gonna be a pain in our backside, but I also think it's beneficial to have projects on a board somewhere. And maybe it's just maybe in me, because I'm so anal on stuff, but my list, if I'm not looking at them, things get pushed off and forgotten. And I'm really good about moving things above, prioritizing this and this. Things get put down at the bottom, but they're always there for me to see, so I don't forget to complete them. And I just feel like, and again, it's just me, but I feel like we haven't brought up ever talking about the water lines. It's always the sewer plant, the lagoon, which is fine. Those are priorities, but we can't forget the little things either. And I just feel that they're forgotten.
One thing that came up, and this is because I sit here and listen to everybody, when we take on a project like that, so it becomes at some point in time, not a project board item for the staff, but a project item for the board, to figure out, do you want to hire it done and have somebody come in and do 2 or 3, because then you're not taking staff away from their day-to-day to do something like this. And so these are some of the other considerations that these guys have been going over for 4 or 5 years is, wow, we take Dagan and his crew away and we get this done, but then all of a sudden we got this mess over here. So it's difficult these may not be projects for staff. These may be something you folks need to find the money and bid out, and a contractor comes in and does them.
But the point Paul, I think, was the one that said we spent $5,000 putting in a new sewer connection for someone who was redoing their place, I think, right? Am I misunderstanding?
And then we charge them back for time and material for that.
Okay, but I mean, even if the town kind of ate that, at least we're upgrading to the standard. If they're going to the expense to redo everything and we want to say, oh, wait, our stuff isn't up to stuff. We want to make it compliant. We want it compliant to our ordinances. So we're going to rehook the sewer or water or whatever it is. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. But maybe I'm not saying this right. I would really like to see a list of projects that have been forgotten or put on the back burner for years and years. I want them where we can see them and say, well, next year maybe we do need to worry about this water line, getting it in somehow, budget it. If we keep waiting to depend on money, it's just like in real life, you're not gonna have anything or go anywhere. You need to just kind of plan and start working towards something. And even if it's just one line a year, at least it's something.
I don't have a journal here, but I mean, I can start making a list of those things. And then we can add to it.
Because I feel like we're going so fast on accomplishing projects that we started 6 years ago. We're way ahead of the schedule. It's just, there's some, the prioritizing of projects has been
And
holding us back on a lot of them, but.
And I think part of it too is I'm still trying to figure all this out. I don't understand your lingo, all your EFLs and DVSs. It takes me so long just to figure out what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, no,
And-
and we understand, and I've actually let you down with, everything that I had going on the last couple of months, which worked out for me really well. But, my tardiness or my absence, not tardiness, in March and April, I had told you that I felt like on a workshop night, that I had to put together something of, all this stuff so that you were better informed. Because I can speak for myself, and I don't know how Brett feels, but I feel like it took me the first 2 to 3 years before I started to even understand what we were talking about. And then it took me till probably the end of my first term, 4 years, I was like, well, I just kind of figured out what's going on, and I can actually have a say and comment and start to direct stuff. And I guess that's where I wanted to give you that workshop, so you guys kind of had that.
And I feel like all I do is ask questions and
That's fine.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
well,
Nothing wrong with that.
but so I will tell you,
Yes.
I think your question is actually to us, not to staff, because it's the projects that I ultimately, those big capital projects come from us.
right, but they're the ones that see, oh, I don't know, they kind of know what's going on too, but I think the project board or a project list, even if it's a mile long with tying in water lines is the 500th thing on the list, it would be nice to know what is on that list so that, oh, well, maybe we can do this and at least get something started.
Here's something else that Grant has been trying to do for 6 years, and that is a capital improvement grant program, and put it in place for the town for a 10-year projection, 25-year projection. When we get into that, it involves asset management. All of a sudden, we find that that's going to be another project, that's another $100,000 expenditure. So putting together, and we've got a company here that is willing to do that for us.
Well, we made the initial steps. We bought the
We made the initial steps.
We bought the
on
GPS
the
unit and the
GPS units.
GIS, so we could start to map out our town and figure
and
out
they're
all those
mapping that
things.
out.
Identify those projects and where like our weakest lines are, where the tie-ins for, our dead-end mains. Because I think what you're gonna find, whenever you're talking about this and the tie-in of that, and I almost cringed because that would involve us getting another lawyer involved,
Jeez, dude, come on.
in the same category as lawyers, another engineer involved, probably.
Yeah.
And we'd have to go down this whole process, and probably what we would think is, well, the crew would go out there and get some pipe, dig a hole in the ground and tie those in together, but ultimately we can't do that with a water system. It would probably be an engineered thing, and it'd probably be where we would estimate it to be $10,000 to do a tie-in. An engineer would come back and be like, well, for $20,000, I'll tell you how you can do it. For another $10,000, I'll draw you the plans. For another $10,000, I'll
I
administer the
went to the
project.
wrong school. I've come up with.
And then ultimately your project costs $100,000 plus the $50,000 that you cost to just design it. That's what I've found so far.
Could I make a suggestion, because I've been suggesting this to staff, is budget time is coming up. And you guys as a group, I've said to staff, okay, we've got this cleanup. I've recommended they put in a budget item request for some money to do things like tear down a bad structure and get rid of things. If we don't have the money budgeted, we can't do it. If we don't use it, you could move it to someplace else. If there's projects like this, that's another time to talk about them, is at the budget system. Hey, I'd like to tie in this line this year. Do we have the money to do it? That gets you moving along, because that's really the only time to address doing things, because that's when you're spending the money. You're allocating the money to do something. So that, to me, as the lawyer, would be the time for, if anybody here had a plot or a plan or what they wanted to do, talk about it at budget time. That's when you're doing it.
And that's the reason that the project board, it doesn't have to be a project board. But if we don't know what all the little projects are that keep getting put off, how do we budget for them?
And that's a good, and I'll tell you, there's a couple things, but number one, that's part of the foundation of why we had to raise our water rates, recognizing that those projects need done and we have no money to do it. So when we raise those water rates and raise the sewer rates, that's gonna help us have the money to budget for those kind of projects. But on the other side point is, it'd be good if we did do that, Journal, and write them down, because you and I aren't gonna be here. So if these projects that you and I have been wanting to accomplish for the last 6 years, we need to put it down and carry it on to the next.
There is some argument legally, you're supposed to have a capital improvement list. DOLA loves to see that. And I think we've had some conversations when we've got grants and other things that they wanted to know what our plans were for down the road. So it could be as easy as just a list of things that you know to do.
And here, and having that list, and then he brought it up to the Water Quality Division and the Colorado Department of Health, that it's not just about one project. And that's when we made the comment, we got all these projects to get done now. We can't just isolate just the one. And they gave us some forgiveness, if you want to call it that.
They did.
But,
Yeah, they started nodding their heads whenever I was like, I've been on this board trying to get them to replace some fire hydrants, because that's why, one of the reasons I ran for this board.
Well, and see,
We
and
still
that's,
haven't replaced a fire hydrant.
and that's,
and we need to replace 1 or 2 of those a year at 10 pop.
Yeah, I know.
10,000 a pop, aren't they?
No, they're 18,000 now.
Saying we need to do at least 1 a year for crying out loud. I mean,
And I keep thinking about your quote that we have a $6 million or $1 billion sewer plant, and we don't have the collection system or the structure, to feed it.
it's a bad situation.
And I don't know. It frustrates me because I don't have answers, and I ask questions, and it just seems like it gets more confusing, and there's more information. You're just in this constant whirlpool.
there's something that I think gets overlooked when we talk about water and sewer, because we use the word the town a lot. The water and sewer is supposed to be self-funding. It's supposed to cash flow. So your biggest limitation on doing things in the water and sewer is you don't have the money, because if you raise the water and sewer rates to what it would take to do all this, you'd probably be a revolution sitting down there. You'd have to put a budget item for more folding chairs. And that's happened before. It's you may or may not, even if the town could do it, you may not have 20 grand to throw at pipe and employee time. And so, like I say, it's cash flow is pretty much the main limiting factor on all these things. It's easy to get a list, but you are the guys that are gonna have to say, spend the money on this, and.
But I can work on that.
Yeah, I'll work on
I
it
can
too.
work on that.
I'll work on all the projects that we currently got, and I told you I'd do that anyways, and then. When was
I
that?
can do that.
I mean, Dagan and
Did you get
Paul
on in
probably got a
March?
list
Is that when you guys got on?
No, I started in February,
In February.
but we got
Right.
signed down in
Okay.
March.
I
did,
think-
yeah.
November?
November 9th.
Has it been that long? Oh,
Yep, November 9th.
time flies.
I just thought,
Memory.
well, no, I just opened your book to put stuff in it and I saw it.
Yeah, the
Memory.
last, I don't know, sorry, and I didn't deliver on that promise, so,
Well,
am I off the next workshop? Do we have stuff on the next
Well,
workshop?
Grant,
Not yet.
life happens, and
Yeah.
with work, with family, with everything, it's busy. I don't get everything done either.
Are we gonna reschedule the workshop for July? Cause it's on the 4th.
Probably.
I'm not coming on the 4th.
I'm not either. I'm gonna shoot fireworks, so.
So let's
Okay, we're
move,
doing it at the fireworks. then.
let's move the workshop to
It's gonna be
the
fun,
11th of July.
and I'm off. So I don't know what we have. Probably nothing on the agenda now, so,
No, we don't have anything.
And Grant, this would serve several purposes, because I don't think Sally is the only person that needs to be aware of what you two guys have been working on for years, because it's a budget item, and that's what
Yes.
things are keep coming down to. So it would be preparation for the public works budget, in some ways.
so tell you what, if it's okay with you, give us till the 11th, and let's slate 1 hour at a minimum into the 11th, July 11th. Oh, man. I'm
What?
gonna be in trouble. That's my anniversary.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
But no, that's fine.
No.
So, let's do that. Let's do 1 hour that night, and I will start to compile that list of all of these projects and the things that we've talked about, and go back to my journal and kind of the discussion and some of these decision points and the stuff we put off, and maybe if I have it in my notes, the whys. And then I'll get with Brett and we'll deliver that, because I think that'd be good for, like you said, that's good for probably everybody. And
So then the second Thursday and the third Thursday, you'll have meetings in July.
11th
Yeah.
and the 18th?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'll be gone on the 18th.
Me too.
You'll be gone the 18th? You're gonna be gone the 18th?
Is
Maybe I'll be
anybody going to the CML thing on Monday?
Oh, no.
I'm not gonna be able to attend.
Me either.
I can't leave that.
I went ahead and registered, but is there anything I need to expect, be aware of?
He's been to one.
I went to the state one.
You went to the state one.
The things
I
that they
went
have
one to
the
Cortez. Where's it at?
Cortez.
It's the
Isn't it
Destination Grill?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's where?
In
So-
Cortez.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
It is, yeah.
It's good for, what's the word in the mission statement that I used? That I made up. The town didn't have a mission statement before we got on. But interconnecting with people is huge. So, I've been to a couple in Cortez.
Yeah.
It's worth going seeing how the other half lives, because you'll hear what they're doing and how they're doing, because
They will
usually-
ask you, they're gonna put you on, they're gonna call your name.
I have no idea.
They're gonna call your name and they're gonna ask you some questions. What's going on in Dove Creek?
They made me do it one time. I was the only person there because I was in City Hall and I went. And it's just, you stand up and say, well, we're working on a really important water projects
What's
get
the biggest
water from the
concern you
river.
have there?
to have a reservoir to store it. And that's all encompassing right now, or,
Water,
whatever.
sewer, infrastructure.
You know what went a long ways for me is, with Colorado Municipal League, I got to interact with people from across the state, and I figured out that Dove Creek's not alone in our lagoon, Dove
Nope.
project, water issues. It's like everywhere, and I felt like we made this little group of friends, and then
Yeah.
we kept on going to the same classes, and we went into Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, who came in and had this whole presentation, and they were all happy and bubbly. And then we destroyed them at the end of it with a bunch of questions that they weren't prepared for.
And you get to know some of the members.
Yeah.
This isn't gonna be anything like that. This
No.
is, but local affairs is kind of there. Bobert was there and, or her office was there, and so if they thought there was something they could look good helping, they jumped all over that person from that town and got into them. So it's just a chance to interact.
So
Network.
I look for people with money and I drag their butts to Dove Creek.
Yes.
I
Yes.
can do that.
It's, like I say, I was sitting there going like, I'm the attorney, what do I know that the town is doing?
I need to,
Unfunded mandates.
Unfunded mandates.
Yeah.
Is something that Colorado Municipal League, and do you understand what Colorado Municipal League does?
All I've been seeing is that they're petitioning, or they're arguing with the state bills for, against.
So CML is the same, so Colorado Farm Bureau, the Colorado Cattlemen's Association, the Colorado Sunflower Growers Association, corn growers, all of these associations out there exist, and it's funny because as I got involved with CML and I was very involved with Farm Bureau, I figured out that all those players are kind of the same people. And they're just, they basically they have lobbyists and aides that work in and around the Capitol and with all of these other agencies. So they're the people who provide us the information about what's going on at the state on the legislative level. Judicial, if it ever comes to affect us, but it doesn't generally. Bills that are coming out, things that are coming from the governor's office, just kind of this general feel. And then they're also the people that go on our behalf and argue at the Capitol. They're the ones who could be there at the Capitol every day to go, whoa, this isn't good for our towns. And so we don't have to be. We don't have to have our finger on the pulse of what's happening at the Capitol as much and what Jared Polis has got going on in his head.
No,
every day.
The other thing that CML does that is probably, in my mind, even bigger than the politicking is Lorraine has a town clerk, city clerk listserv. So if you folks have a question about something she doesn't know, she's in a network of every CML clerk. I'm in a network with every town and city attorney. Dagan's got a network for public works. They do trainings. The CML thing where everybody's gonna go and destroy other people, I'm gonna go get an education and get my continuing education. They're gonna train me on issues that may or may not affect the town of Dove Creek, but they do this. They have clerk seminars and so they have a certification process, I think. So they're very involved in your supporting
And they
staff.
have some governance.
Yep.
Courses I've looked at too.
And they provide training for you guys. If you want to get a college degree through CML, I kind of joke, but you can earn credits and get towards being a certified board member or something. But that's huge what they provide. And then they provide technical advice. If we have a problem, I can call up and their law clerk will give me a stack of cases to look at and stuff. So they're a huge resource as far as staff goes. They have a Muni Court Clerks Association, which, the judges have an association, but all these people talk. And so it's an immense resource for us.
If you can go in and learn some of the contacts from CML, so when we were having our first initial fight with Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment that I was a part of, I don't know, I must have spent, I bet that there was probably 50 to 60 emails exchanged and probably at least 3 to 4 hours of phone calls and text messages with people from CML who prepared me for that. And whenever I say we destroyed the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment is because when I got up to Breckenridge that time that I went to the state conference, and I'd love to go back sometime, I started interacting with other, board members, mayor pro tems, mayors, and town clerks, finding out that, guess what, in Monte Vista, they held them to this standard, but in Dove Creek, they held them to this standard. And it's CML that is talking to all of us. And so when I gained those contacts with the state CML, then I had somebody that I could, as we had something big coming up, I could reach out to CML and be like, hey, so what's the background of this? What's the history of this? And what we learned, and that's where I learned that we were being held to a standard that was harmful to salmonid fish, which is basically fish, trout, bluegill, bass, all of those for our outlet pipe down here, but we didn't have any fish.
That's another one of those projects.
And so I finally figured out, they sent me the formula that they were using to actually come up with that number. And I was like, but what does this pertain to? And they're like, well, you actually are not meeting the standard because you don't have any dilution, because you don't have any water flow. If I don't have any water flow, then I don't have any fish, right? And so we had this back and forth, and I was like, well, if we don't have any fish, why are we being held to this standard? And so we had that big old long meeting, and finally they started to be like, oh, okay. And then at the end of it, they're like, well, we still want to do this and this and this because I think it would improve the numbers and everything. And I said, well, yeah, and then how am I gonna do all the other projects that I need to do? Because I've got a whole laundry list, like you say, of all these projects that we would love to do and we don't have the money to do. And now you want me to take that money I don't have and put covers on and use nano bubbles and change the ammonia standards because it might be harmful to a fish that's not there. And so CML was instrumental in helping me prepare for those meetings. And I think if I wouldn't have, they probably would have railroaded us. But
it's just the interacting with the other people it's just invaluable. Dagan, at one point, we were talking, he was questioning being on this water board or whatever meeting he goes to, yet his connections there gave us more clout when we went different places, when these guys went different places pitching projects, because he talked to other people in the know in that particular area. And so you just talking to people, and even if all you get is a, hey, howdy, hi, give me a call sometime or whatever, you're gaining just connections that could help. And you may never know. It's every once in a while, I totally have forgotten. There's an old litigator that defended the city in some 1983 lawsuit cases. She's extraordinary. And every once in a while, I end up calling her up and go, hey, do you remember me? And she laughs. She goes, what do you want? But she tells me how to do something that I would never have been exposed to. And vice versa. She calls me for stuff occasionally. So you get those networks started.
So we're encouraging you to do that. Did you get that drift?
I did.
Okay.
I registered.
Okay, I need to move into executive session.
Sorry.
All those in favor, well, give me a motion.
I move into executive session.
I second that.
Okay, thank you for that. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Go ahead and,
Aye.
and remove.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting this evening?
Steve, you find somebody to do it?
I move we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
And motion second to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you.
Or are you gonna tell them about